So you're ready to lay down that beautiful new flooring, huh? Well, hold on a second, because the real secret to a perfect, pro-level job isn't in those fancy planks you just bought. Nope, it's in the foundation you can't even see. We're talking about the subfloor. And today, we're going to walk through exactly how to get your wood subfloor perfectly level for a flawless finish.
And hey, it's not just me saying this. Take it from a pro like James Miller. He's seen it all. Skipping this prep work, it's like building a house on a shaky foundation. Sooner or later, you're going to see those gaps, hear those annoying clicks, and it is a massive headache to fix down the line. It really just boils down to this. Get the subfloor right from the start, and the rest of the project is smooth sailing.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll cover exactly why this is so important. Then, we'll put on our detective hats and hunt for imperfections. After that, we dive into the fixes, talk about moisture, a really big one, and wrap it all up with some pro tips to make sure your job is perfect.
Think of it this way. Your subfloor is literally the backbone of your entire floor. If it's not flat, nothing else matters. A level subfloor is what makes sure your new laminate looks like one seamless sheet, feels totally solid under your feet, and stays quiet for years and years.
Okay, so before we can fix a single thing, we've got to find the culprits. This is where you really need to investigate. I'm telling you, catching these issues now is going to save you from a world of hurt later on.
So what are we on the hunt for? Well, first, the obvious stuff. Look for any water stains, rot, or warping. But it's not just about what you see. You got to use your feet and your ears, too. Walk every single inch of that floor. Feel for any soft or spongy spots. Hear any squeaks? Those are dead giveaways for loose boards that you have to secure before you do anything else.
So what do we even mean by level? Well, here's the number. For most types of flooring, the industry standard is no more than a 3/16 of an inch dip or hump over a 10-foot span. To give you an idea of how small that is, that's about the thickness of 2 dimes stacked on top of each other. That's it. That is the razor-thin margin we're aiming for.
So how do you find them? You're going to grab the longest, straightest board you can find. An 8 or 10 footer is perfect. Or you can use a laser level. Just sweep it across the floor in every direction. Anytime you see a gap under it or the board rocks back and forth, grab a pencil and circle that spot. You're basically creating a treasure map of all your problem areas.
Okay, map's done. Now it's time to get our hands dirty and actually fix these things. The good news is, every problem has a solution, and it's all about knowing which tool to grab for which job. Honestly, it really just comes down to 2 simple situations. You either have high spots, humps, that you need to bring down, or you have low spots, dips, that you need to fill up. It's a simple mantra. Humps get sanded, dips get filled. That's the whole game.
Now for those dips, self-leveling compound is an absolute lifesaver. But you can't just pour it and hope for the best. No. First, you gotta prime the wood. This stops the wood from sucking all the water out of the mix too fast. Then you mix it till it's perfectly smooth, no lumps, pour it out, and then you wait. You have to give it at least a full 24 hours to cure properly. Be patient here, it's work.
For the high spots, we're doing the exact opposite. We're taking material away. A good belt sander is your best friend for this. But the key is to go slow. Shave a little bit off, then check it with your straight edge. Shave a little more, and check again. The last thing you want to do is get too aggressive and accidentally sand a brand new dip into your floor. Now, what if you have a dip that's just massive, way too deep for a self-leveling compound? That's when you bring out the big guns, shimming. This is where you carefully cut and layer thin pieces of plywood to build that area up. You lock them in place with a combination of construction glue and screws to make sure it's rock solid. We've got the floor flat, which is great, but we're not done, not by a long shot, because now we have to talk about the silent killer of any flooring project, moisture. You can do everything else perfectly, but I'm telling you, if you ignore moisture, your beautiful new floor is just destined to fail.
Here's the number you need to burn into your brain. 12%. That's the absolute maximum moisture content your wood subfloor should have. And please, do not guess. You absolutely 100% need a moisture meter for this. It's a small investment that will save you a potential fortune in repairs later.
So let's talk about the 3 biggest moisture mistakes people make. Number 1, installing on a subfloor that's still damp. Never do it. 2, using cheap plastic sheeting as a vapor barrier. Big mistake. It can trap moisture and cause mold. And 3, skipping the acclimation period. You've got to let those new flooring planks sit in the room for 2 or 3 days to get used to the environment before you install them.
Okay, we're in the home stretch now. But before you even think about laying that first plank,
we've got to do a few final checks. This is the stuff that really separates a good job from a great one, and it ensures all your hard work pays off.
You've heard this saying a million times, right? Well, it couldn't be more true here. Grab that straight edge and go over the entire floor one last time. I promise you, catching a tiny spot you miss now is easy. Trust me, finding it after half the floor is laid is an absolute nightmare.
So just to recap, here's the toolkit that'll make this whole thing possible. You've got your levels, your moisture meter, the compound and sander for your highs and lows, shims for the big dips, and of course, your vacuum and mask. Having the right gear turns what could be a frustrating job into something you can totally handle.
And now for what might be the easiest, but also the most critical final step. Clean up. And I mean really clean. Sweep, then get the shop vac and go over every square inch. You'd be amazed. Even a tiny little wood chip or a forgotten screw can create a bump under your floor that will drive you crazy forever.
And really, that's the whole theme here, isn't it? Every single minute you spend now inspecting, sanding, leveling, and cleaning that subfloor, it's going to save you hours, maybe even days of heartache and repairs down the road. It's truly the best investment you can make in your new floor.
So after all that work, the real question is your foundation truly ready? By following these steps, you can feel confident that you're not just putting down some planks, you're building a truly flawless surface that's going to look amazing and last for years to come.